So on shoots, obviously, it doesn't always go to plan. There are things that do happen or don't happen, I guess, sometimes as well on
Yeah.
shoots that can make things a bit challenging. What's happened? Not recently, but like
Yeah.
what's
Over the
a
course
few of the
of it.
things that can arise.
So when I was at uni, one of the things I got told was filmmaking, and obviously any side of production is just problem solving. That's all you're doing. You're just solving problems, and it is exactly that. Like you can have everything planned. So we live in England. Our company is in England, and we all know what English weather is like. And so a couple of weeks back, we had a shoot for a brand, and they wanted it to be sunshine. This is summer vibes. You want to be like you're going out and you're enjoying our products in the sun. Almost like great. Let's go to kind of like Spain kind of sunshine. Obviously budgets don't allow that, so we went to Brighton and we were sort of watching the weather all week, and it was like, oh, might be rain, and we got there and it's just torrential, like the heaviest rain we've had for weeks, pouring down. There's puddles forming. We're walking to the location and we're just soaked through. Like we got raincoats on, but like our hoodies are soaked underneath. And obviously you're up there, the client's paid for a shoot, and okay, there comes a point where you go, look, you will have to, there's only so much you can do. You can say, look, maybe think about postponing this, but we don't like to do that. So yeah, what we did in that instance was we always try and have a wet weather plan in place. Sometimes just the turnaround time doesn't allow us to necessarily have one done in time. So for instance, this was one where it was quite a quick turnaround, so we didn't really have time to go out and scout, right, what we're going to do wet weather wise. So lucky enough, the team back in the office, because we were out on location, they managed to sort of get a list of all the restaurants that were in the area, and we basically found a restaurant that was on the beach and it had massive rain cover, big umbrellas, and we were able to shoot under there. But the issue we then had with that was these were bright red umbrellas, so they were giving like a red cast to everything, so everyone looked like they were really sunburnt. So we had to like tweak the grade a little bit and bring the colors a certain way in the edit. Lucky enough, it dried up at the end of the day, so we were able to sort of bounce some light to make it feel a bit brighter and push the ISOs. And quite often the challenges we have are locations.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing. I think that's with everyone. The location we're using, if you want lifestyle, you're going to be working in people's houses, or you can work in locations that are shooting locations, but in the day they're not necessarily sets that have been built. And so you're going to go into furniture shoots are quite the troublesome one, because you're looking for, okay, we've got to find a house that's in budget or a location that's in budget. It needs to be the style of the client we're sort of doing the products for. So you're already working with quite a narrow window of locations you can use. And then you can't always travel to scout them out. If you're looking at a location in London, you can't always go, right, we're going to spend a day just traveling to look at this. If it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. So you're working with pictures from, location scouts or Airbnb. And we had one where it looked like this lovely converted barn. The rooms looked really good. And then we got there and it was like peaked ceilings and the rooms were really small. We did have a feeling on the day, like when we were looking at the pictures before we went, do you know what? I think they've used quite a wide angle lens here. Something just felt a little bit off. And we got there and it was like, okay, this room isn't necessarily big enough for what we need. So how are we going to get around this then? And so then we get into the rooms of like, okay, fine, we can shoot around those angles, but how are we going to light it? We're going to have to start clipping lights to ceilings or hiding them here and there or bouncing them. There's always workarounds. It's just figuring out what the workaround is. You always have to ask yourself, what's the focus of this image, or this reel? What's the focus of this shot we're getting right now? And then that will dictate how you fix it. Is it just this tiny product over here? Great, we can do some things to hide it in the edit, or we can do some stuff on set. If it's something big like furniture, that's then we have to kind of get a bit creative. And in the edit, we've had to do a couple of things where we had to repaint a wall digitally. They had this lovely coloured wall and they just painted around all the pictures. So you took these pictures off and it went from like lovely dark blue wall to a white outline of the pictures that were hanging
rectangle.
Yeah. And so you're going, well, we can't paint this today. So we then had to go, right, we're going to have to paint this in the edit,
Pop up. I think that's the main thing, like being able to adapt to that space or environment.
The challenge is in that situation, making sure everyone's still getting what they need from it. You've got clients who have their desired output. We have our internal team who know what they want to be doing with the content. And so it's that thing of going, right, here's what we got planned. Here's what we had in our heads. Here's what we're working with. How do we meet these in the middle?